All right, so today we're going to learn how to do simplistic character movement here in Unity here using C Sharp. Now by simplistic, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and learn how to move forward, back, left, and right, and rotate left and right using the WASD QE keys. So basically what we're doing is we're kind of moving very similar to how old school games do, such as Rise the Tree Head and things of that nature. And we're not going ahead and learning how to go ahead and do the input of the mouse just yet, but we're basically going to do it this way for now. Now, keep in mind of one thing too. A lot of people go ahead and when they think of, I want you to keep in mind that I said movement. Now, a lot of people seem to think that when you say movement, that means that you're going to go ahead and learn how to make the character walk. That's not necessarily true. Remember, we're not in real life. In order to move, you have to do something in order to make yourself move, such as walking or crawling or whatever it is. In gaming perspective, though, that's something we take for granted too. But in gaming perspective, um, you make a character move, but he's not necessarily walking. See, you have to go ahead and make the character animate and move and walk like that. But that's just doing the walking animation. In order to move, you have to tell it where to go and when to go. So it's two different things, That what we're talking about making them walk is during animation. Today we're just going to learn how to do the keyboard movements, which will go with the animation of making him walk. So let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start off by creating a floor in which to walk on. So we're going to go ahead and make a cube here. And we're going to name it floor. And we're going to go ahead and scale it up to about 30 on its x-axis, 1 on its y-axis, and 30 on its z-axis. So this way we have plenty of places to walk. Now this is a little extra bright here, so what I'm going to do is I actually have a texture here of a wooden floor that I'm going to go ahead and just throw right here. So yeah, this wasn't made to look pretty, it's just made to go ahead and not make it so bright. So there you go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a 3D object in which we'll go ahead and be our character here. So this will go ahead and be our character that we're going to go ahead and make move here. So we're going to call it Mr. Cube Man, because why not? All right, so Mr. Cube Man will be our character in which we will go ahead and make walk. So here's the camera right here, and one thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the camera can actually see Mr. Cube Man right here. All right, that's the camera preview right there. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, how do we get started? Well, first and foremost, we got to create a script in which to go ahead and set things up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, because if you've done tutorials by me, you know I like to keep stuff in a nice neat order here. And I want to go ahead and create C# script. We're going to call it player movement. All right. So now let's go ahead and edit our script. Before we do that, though, we want to make sure that we actually have the correct editor editor available. So you want to go ahead and click on Edit. You want to go ahead and click on Preferences. You want to go ahead and click on External Tools. And right here where it says External Script Editor, you want to make sure it says Mono Developed. You could use Visual Studios if you want. Knock yourself out. I would advise Mono Developed. It loads faster and does a lot faster. So let's get started. Now we have it selected. We're going to double click it. And here we go. All right, so this is pretty much what a script starts off with here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear out everything. We're going to gut it, basically. And this is something that I learned from my teacher. Write everything right where it says public class, player movement, and model behavior with the open bracket right there. You want to go ahead and delete everything that starts from this is for initialization all the way down to the second before the last bracket. So you need to have this line here, one bracket and then two brackets, and then bring this bracket down. It's a habit at this point. So first thing we want to do is you want to go ahead and create your floats. Now, what is a float? Basically, the float is going to be we're going to create a speed float and a rotation speed float. This is basically telling the game already, say, listen, these are the speeds in which you will go abide by, So let's go ahead and get started. Start off with the word public. This will make sure that it's editable no matter where you are. We're going to explain that soon. Float speed equals 5.0 f end. So this is what we did right here. We made it a public float, which basically means that the public is basically allowing anyone to go ahead and edit it when they need to. The float is pretty much the type of number that you're actually doing. And then we're going to name the public float speed. Okay, so that would be the name of the float equals, and then this is the number in which, this is the factor that we're using in order to go ahead and do it. So it's going to be moving 5. And F, well, when you're doing floats, you got to end it off with an F. So 5.0 F or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much what you do. So just to go ahead and show you, save it, and I'm going to go ahead and over here, I'm going to click on Mr. Cube Man. So once we do that, the first thing we need to do, which I probably should have mentioned, is take the script and put it on Mr. Cube Man. After all, you got to go ahead and do that in order for it to go ahead and abide by a script. Otherwise, it's not going to know where to go. So you can do one of two things: drag it on him, or drag it, or choose him, and then drag it over here. I advise you just to drag it on him. Easy. Okay. So if you notice here, where it says player script, it says speed equals 5. That's exactly what we did the last time. So let's go ahead back in here, and we're going to do another float here too. So hit enter, public float rotation speed, and make sure speed is capitalized, equals, and we're going to do rotation speed 50.0 F end. Now keep in mind those ends. This right here means end. This means that done. You're done. This is exactly what you need. Call it a day. Okay, that's very important, and that's something that you're going to be need to be aware of too. So now we did a rotation float, which is public float, which means that it can go ahead and be edited from that area that we were in before. This will be named rotation speed, and it will equal 50.0 F end. So we go back over here, and once it finished compiling, which it already did, it says rotation speed. And already there, it's set for 50. So from here, we can actually set it to different numbers if we wanted to, but we're going to work in the script here. So, all right, so we've already done that. So hit enter, and let's go ahead and get our inputs in. So first thing you want to do is type in void update. Now, basically, what the word void does is kind of like, it's telling it to, how to put this? It doesn't print it, and put it that way. Takes a little more to actually explain that one here. So we're just gonna move right along. So we're gonna go ahead, and this is the update, which means that it's going to constantly be looking for what we're about to go ahead and show it right now. So it's gonna be constantly looking forward to it. Okay, looking, and waiting for it. So the first thing we're gonna do is give it some brackets, because once you go ahead and do like void update, you got to give it some brackets, which basically means that it's going to be looking for everything that's located within these brackets, including brackets that may be in these brackets. So let's go ahead and start off with the first update. Now the first update will be moving forward. So you want to type in if, was it open bracket, input dot get key. Now, let's stop right here and discuss what we have right here. So you're saying if the input button that's pressed, that's what input is. In this case, it's keyboard, so it's a button that's pressed, and that's what get key means. So if the input is, then you got get key, button that's pressed on the keyboard is, and we're going to go ahead and open up another bracket and type in key code W. Then we're going to go ahead and close both of those brackets. The first bracket, one for the first bracket, and then the second one for the second bracket. So what we said is if the input from the keyboard is the key code W, which is what the key is. So we already did that. So once we do that, then it's an if statement. So the if statement gets a bracket. Yeah, there's a lot of brackets. Get used to it. So once again, I like to keep my brackets down here. I like to keep everything neat. Sorry. So it says if the input key is in fact W, then this, now keep in mind, this means whatever this script is attached to, dot transform, dot translate. So that basically means that this item right here is going to change and translate. Pretty much means how to it's the type of transforming it's going to do. So, and then go ahead and open up a bracket and type in new vector 3. Now, what is new vector 3? Vector is pretty much meaning that of kind of like a direction. So basically, there's 3 vectors that you got to work with: X, Y, and Z. So keep in mind, think of it like this. X is left and right, Y is up and down, and Z is forward and back. In this case, we're going to think of it like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say new vector 3, open up. Now this is where we put the vectors at. So we want it to move only straight. So what we do is it's asking for 3 different numbers here. Now first vector is the x vector. And we want to move forward, so we're going to say 0. Why are we going to say 0? Because we already declared that we want this to be moving forward. So if this is moving forward, then you don't want the x factor because x factor is left and right. Now, the second one is the y factor. Y factor is up and down. That's not forward. 0. So now z factor for us right now is going to be the moving forward one. So what you want to do is you want to type in speed. Now, this is referencing this up here, the original speed right here. So, times time dot delta time. Now, basically what that's saying is that it's going to move according to the speed that we already placed in front of it. Okay? That's pretty much it. So how do we do? Let's save it and find out. We go here. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, it's a little circle right there. You got to be fast to see it. It's compiling. Now, if we did something wrong, we would know because it would have said in red letters right here, hey, you fucked up. But it didn't say that. So we're going to go ahead and hit play and see how it works out. So we got play, and let's hit W, see what happens. It's moving forward. Now, the problem is that it won't move back. It won't move left or right. It'll only move forward by hitting the W. So we got what we wanted. So let's go back and let's start doing some other coding now. Now we already finished this. We put our end statement here, and everything is good. Now let's go ahead and make it move backwards. Now here's the thing. I know you're tempted to go ahead and hit like Control, C or copy and paste. Don't do that. The reason why is because if you're learning, copy and paste will not help you. Get used to putting everything in. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to do the same thing. Input get key, open bracket, and key code dot s. Okay, after you do that, close the first bracket, close the second bracket, then give it some curly brackets. And please be very wary of the 2 type of brackets we have here. We got the curly brackets right here, and we got these regular brackets right here. Be careful of what you're putting in. So s, then it's going to be this dot transform dot translate new vector 3, open up another bracket, 0, comma, 0, comma. Now here's the very interesting part. So what are we going to do? Are we going to do speed times time dot delta time? Well, if we did that, logic would conclude that if we did the exact same thing we did before, well, it's going to do the exact same thing, which means that no matter how you look at it, it's going to go forward. How do we fix that? Well, we tell it not to go forward. We tell it to go backwards. So minus speed times time dot delta time. Close the first bracket, close the second bracket, end the statement. Did we do it right? Save, and let's check it. Always good to check your work, especially when you're doing coding. Do one code, check it. We move forward, check. Moving backwards, check. Forward, check. Backwards, check. Forward, check. Backwards. All right. So we definitely got that going. That's fantastic. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Now we want to do moving left and right here. So we're going to go moving left and right. We're not doing rotating right now. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go now to the second curly bracket here. We're going to go ahead and do it again. If input dot get key, let's see here. Let's try moving left first. So open bracket, key code dot a, close bracket, and then we're going to put our curly brackets to open it up. So if we press the A key, then it's going to be this dot transform dot translate new vector 3 equals, open bracket. Now, what do? Now, remember what we already learned. We already learned basically that the x vector is the first number, the second number is the y vector, and the third number is z vector. We also know that x is left and right, z is up and down. Excuse me, x is left and right, y is up and down, and z is forward and back. So logic dictates that we need to go ahead and put what we put first time in the z area in the x area. That way we can move left and right. But which one do we do? Do we do the regular speed, or do we do the minus speed, reverse speed, if you will? See, that's kind of interesting, right? Let's go ahead and try with reverse speed here. So we're going to speed times time. I actually don't know if this is actually correct here, but I do believe it is. So how are we going to find out? By testing it, of course. So we do this one. All right, we saved it. For the record, save on the keyboard is Control S if you don't do that. Or you can go to File and click on Save. I already saved it, so it's faded out. After that, wait for it to compile. It already compiled. I don't see any errors. So let's hit play button. Forward, back. There we go. It worked. So that's where we want to go. Left, fantastic. Let's go ahead and jump in here and quickly do the exact same thing. This time, we're going to go right. So if input dot get key, open bracket, key code dot, what is D? I think we said it was going to be. Open bracket, close bracket, make sure you bring the brackets down. This dot transform dot translate, open bracket, new vector, 3, another vector, and we're going to put regular speed times time, delta time, comma, 0, comma, 0. Close bracket, end, and save it. It's compiling right there. Now go ahead and press play. Left, left, right, left, right. All right, so we definitely got it going. This is fantastic. Mr. Cube Man is alive. He's going forward, back, and you can press the buttons at the same time, such as like A and S and go down here, or W and D and go down here, and whatever you want. So we got things going. But how do we rotate it? That's also the reason why we chose a cube, for the record, so we can go ahead and rotate it. So let's go ahead and talk about rotations. So rotations pretty much rolls the same exact way. That's also the reason why we put a public float rotation speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do here if, sorry, got to think on the fly here. If input key is in fact key code, let's try Q, I believe we said it was going to be. 2 brackets. Don't know why to keep doing that. I hate that. Then we're going to put in this dot transform. It's the same thing, this dot transform, because remember, that's what we want to do. Now, here's the key part. We don't want it to translate, which means to move it. We want it to rotate. So type in rotate. Okay, so this dot transform dot rotate. Open up, same thing, new vector 3. Now open up another bracket. Now here's the key, and I could go ahead and make you figure it out yourself, but I'm not. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. What you want to do is you want to put the rotation on vector y. Now why vector y? Well, very simple, because axis y, because axis y basically it's up and down, right? So it's not forward or back, it's not left or right, and so it's kind of like in the center. In this case, it's going to be in the center, so you want it to spin on the center. If you were to go ahead and do it the other ways, they would start facing other ways that you don't want them to face and whatnot. So yeah, we want it to do that. So we're going to put in 0 for the x factor. For the y factor, we're going to put in let's try. We're going to do the same type of thing, like like regular and minus. So we're going to type minus, but this time we're going to put rotate speed. Remember, rotate speed up there. Sorry, I went pointing and all that. So rotate speed times time dot delta time. There we go. Close bracket, done. And so did that work? Let's go ahead and find out. We're going to save it. We're going to click over here to Unity. We're going to make sure it compiles. We got no errors. So it looks like it actually might work. Now this is the reason why we chose a block, so we can go ahead and do that, and we got it spinning. Excellent. Now here's the thing. Before we finish, well, let's finish it first, and then we'll talk about that. So that means that the last one, let's go ahead and put the last one in really quick here. Input dot get key dot open bracket key code dot e close bracket. Bring two brackets up here, and we're going to type in this dot transform dot rotate. Spell it correctly. That will help too. Okay, new vector 0 dot, and remember, minus rotate speed x time dot delta time. And I didn't put the 0 for the other one. Apparently you do not need to if you do not want to. Did not know that. Now I know. Also, vector 2 is incorrect. Let's go ahead and make it vector 3. All right, so we're going to save it. And we're going to go back here. And we're going to go ahead and wait for compile. It finished compiling, but there's an error. It says 35.59 error. New expression required. That means on this bracket or this bracket. So it already tells you pretty much what the error is. Pretty much it means that one of my brackets are wrong. But which bracket is actually wrong? On line 35. So that's the first one. So line 35. Now, if you noticed, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but I purposely made sure that I did this bracket incorrectly so that would pop up. So this is basically what we need. So there you go. Also, rotation speed is incorrect. It needs to be positive. So there we go. Now we're going to save it again, and we're going to click here. And it looks like something else is wrong. So rotate speed does not exist. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. So it's red, so that'll go ahead and let you know that what's going on with it. Now, what's going on with it? Very simple. We didn't call it rotate speed. If you look up here, we're referencing this. It's rotation speed. So we're going to delete this. Rotation speed should be the right one. Now it's still red. Reason why? Because we misspelled speed. So there we go. Remember, capitalization is key. So once we do that, we go here. It's compiling. No errors. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and test out our new project here. So we got E turns it this way. Q turns it this way. And of course, let's go ahead and test forward, back, left, and right. Now let's try this. Turn it this way. Look. That's what that vector is all about. It'll go ahead and move whichever way it's facing. So that's fantastic, right? So now let's say, for example, that we notice that as we do here, it turns really slow. So there's two ways that you can do this. Click on Mr. Cube Man, and of course it's a public float, so we can go ahead and change it to 50, not to 90 if you want to, and we can make it move faster. And there you go. All right. So we learned how to do a lot of different things here. Also, let me see. Make it 65 there. Open up the script again. Okay. So now, keep in mind this is nice and all, but we notice that we can't really move. We're only moving the square. And Mr. Cube Man is nice. Don't get me wrong. No hate on Mr. Cube Man. But, what if you want to move something else, such as, well, the camera? Well, we can move the camera too. But I want to show you something else too. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and move the camera a little bit here. And we're going to move Mr. Cube Man over here in front of the camera as well. Now I want to show you something here. So Mr. Cube Man, he's right here, and notice how when he goes off, he actually floats. Why is he floating? Because right now we don't have anything set to go ahead and make him do anything else. So you could go ahead and add in certain things like rigid body, and it'll go ahead and give him the ability to go ahead and do such things like that. Unfortunately, what I did was I added the rigid body to the camera. I meant to add the rigid body to the Mr. Cube Man. You got to make sure what you want is actually highlighted first. So that's the reason why I drop like that. So what happens is that once you choose rigid body, you can go ahead and click on choose gravity, which is right here. Play it. And as you see right here, notice how he dropped down automatically here. As soon as I go ahead and jump off, he's down. He's down for the count. Now, like I was saying before, say you don't want to move Mr. Cube Man. Maybe you just want to move the camera. Maybe you want to check some things out. So you can actually do that as well. So what you want to do is you can leave the script on him and just unclick the script. Okay? And it'll only allow you to go ahead and move what has the script and what is activated. So you can go ahead and uncheck it and deactivate it. Click on the actual camera, take the same exact script, move it either on the camera or on here, and then play. And now I'm moving the camera. And I can also go ahead and turn this way. And keep in mind, it's going to set to the default settings too. So if you want the camera to go ahead and rotate faster, you can go ahead and hit 90 here. It'll rotate faster. So I can put in 99999, and then, whoa! Now keep in mind of one thing. If you have the game running, okay, it will not save any of your settings. So you need to make sure that you are actually saving, that you have the settings saved. In order to save the settings, rather, you have to make sure that the game is not playing. Okay? So just putting it out there. All right, so that's it for now. That's pretty much how to go ahead and move the character. Anyway, we went into a little bonus stuff by going ahead and attaching the camera. That's how you move the character. And we did some bonus stuff like attach the script to different places in order to go ahead and make different things move. So you can pretty much attach the script to anything here too. So one has to wonder, let's have some fun. What would happen if you had double scripts? Notice how I'm moving two things at once. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, because this may be something that you may want to do. So you may want to go ahead and have a situation where you're actually moving two things at once. Or you can go ahead and do a couple of things too. You don't have to necessarily do it that way. For example, I can take the camera and I can go ahead and lock it on to someone here. It's been a while since I've done this. And as long as I'm moving one thing, I can still do that because the camera's actually locked on to Mr. Cube Man now. So, it's different things that you can go ahead and do, definitely. Anyway, like I said, that's it for now. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe if you like these type of videos, and you have a good night. Zeph out.